上啦。还有我们的 emoji 表情，大家也都可以双手挥一挥，对，我们双手可以摇起来挥一挥，对着镜头打打招呼，一起在我们决赛的现场留下各位开心的笑容。也请我们的工作人员为表现好的观众来放送我们的礼物了。今天我们的组委会也为大家准备了非常多的惊喜，也希望每个人都能够满载而归，礼物为大家都准备得很充足，包括在之后我们休息的时刻也都会有很多礼物在等待大家。我们要稍等一下，大家不要着急啊，每个人都有获得礼物的机会。对，只要双手继续摇，我们的大拇指伸出来点个赞，也会有礼物获得我们的礼物。对，有机会啊，所以说朋友们准备好，也可以拿起各位的手机记录下您和乔氏星空赛场共同度过的精彩瞬间。那接下来我们的镜头要移动了，我们的礼物开始升级了。来，我们也请我们的工作人员可以把我们的签名照先为大家来展示一下啊。那么是老薛、薛真奇和我们张坤鹏的签名照。来吧，我们看一看这边有没有朋友想要的。好，那个近水楼台先得月，先为这位先生啊。来，我们也请您站起来。好，看一看您要面对的问题是：包头的别称是以下哪一个 ？A. 鹿城 ，B. 阳城 ，C. 冰城 ，D. 山城。
A. 鹿城。
鹿城，看一看您的回答是否正确呢？恭喜回答正确，来也送上一张我们的球员签名照。来，薛真奇的签名照给到您。来，刚刚这位小伙子我看特别热情啊，来看一看你要面对的问题是什么？内蒙古传统乐器马头琴的琴头雕刻成 A 马头 ，B 羊头 ，C 龙头 ，D 虎头。来，给出你的答案，大点声啊！马头，来看一看回答是否正确呢？恭喜回答正确，送上张坤鹏的签名照一张，谢谢。来，我给到这边一点机会吧，好不好？来这边，好，我们看看这位先生啊，包括这位女士，两位是共同来到我们的赛场，是不是？来，好，那么接下来我就问两位这个问题啊，关于比赛时间限定，每名选手每局可以叫延时几次 ？A 一次 ，B 2次。来，两位思考一下。一次，看一看您的回答是否正确。恭喜回答正确，送上咱们老薛薛真奇的签名照一张。来，我们也给两位一点时间，可以拿出手机记录下我们共同在乔氏星空赛场的美好瞬间。谢谢，再次感谢大家，我们的礼物还有很多啊，所以说千万不要走开，包括我们在比赛的间隙也有我们的惊喜会给到各位，继续期待，谢谢。
女士们、先生们，为了您的安全和更好的观赛体验，我们提醒您注意以下观赛礼仪：在比赛开始前，请持票入场，对号入座，避免在比赛进行时造成干扰。在比赛进行中，请保持安静，避免大声交谈、喧哗或使用手机发出噪音，尤其是在选手击球的关键时刻，更应保持安静，以免分散选手的注意力。请对参赛选手保持尊重，不要对选手的表现做出负面评论或嘲笑。每位选手都值得尊重和鼓励。在比赛进行当中，请不要使用闪光灯拍照，以免干扰双方运动员。比赛期间，尽量减少不必要的走动，以免干扰选手和其他观众。场馆内部包括正赛赛场、卫生间、办公室，禁止吸烟。如有需要， 请移步场外。感谢大家配合，我们真诚感谢您对赛事的支持，并祝您观赛愉快。
中国征服世界球童，欢迎来到 LP 球杆乔氏杯2025中式发球大师赛。10、9、8、7、6、5、4、3、2、1，这里是中式八球大师赛。中国征途世界球童 ，Jubileers Uniting the World， 决赛现在开启。天下谁人不识君？首先，掌声欢迎风华战将孙元。 人干合一心流绝，以及欢呼请出中式霸王楚冰杰。The light. 这里是中式八球大师赛 LB 球杆乔氏杯包头战决赛现场。接下来为各位介绍决赛裁判团队：主裁判傅依然，助理裁判李亚帆、王鹏轩。决赛即将开始，朋友们，掌声欢呼声！
请双方选手双刀开始比赛。听我口令，预备，3、2、1，开始。孙源获得开出选择权。
Good day everyone and welcome to day 10 here at the 2025 Joy Heyball Masters Super Tour Baotou Station. This is the final, the grand final, and there you can see the route to the final for these players. Chu Bingjie needs absolutely no introduction. One of the most consistent players in the last 2 or 3 years in this game, and his opponent, Yuan, the dark horse. One of his best performances to date, and we actually have a post on Facebook showing us his route in stage 3 to this final. Alex Pegulayan, Stephen Ellis, Kong Dejing, Zhao Ruliang, Tang Shunshao, Li Yiwei, and yesterday afternoon, Zheng Yubo. These are the players that this young man has gone through to get to this grand final against Chu Bingjie. Chu Bingjie has not lost a match in stage 3, so currently unbeaten to get to the grand final. And Yuan lost his first match in stage 3 to Chen Siming, 13-4. But after that, playing twice a day, winning his way back into the grand final. I'm your commentator for this match, Raymond Tillak from South Africa, and I'll be keeping you company. And yeah, we hope to have a really great match. Not hope, we know we are. If you have been watching our live streams recently, you would have seen Yuan on the TV table quite a few times in the last few days, and he's really wowed us with how easy he makes this game look. And not only that, his breaks as well. Breaks have been excellent. Using about half the amount of effort as we've seen from other players, but he's able to most times pot a ball on that break, usually in the center pockets. And as you can see, usually he doesn't leave a very difficult table. We did see yesterday some of his breaks, not even a ball on the cushion. So if you are just joining us, welcome to the grand final of the Baotou Station here in Inner Mongolia, China. This is a race to 23 between Chu Bingjie and Yuan. Yuan won the leg, so he did break. It was a dry break, and that's why, as you can see, Chu Bingjie at the table. Now, so far in the last few matches, we haven't seen the best from Chu Bingjie. Even against Zheng Yubor in the winners bracket final, that was not his best performance, and I mean, he let a comeback almost happen in that match. I mean, he was 7-1 ahead, and final score was 19-16. So you can imagine during that match, Zheng Yubor made quite a comeback to bring the score to that. In this clearance now, it's just about the one ball. If he can pot that and get good position on his next object ball, which should be the 7, he should be good for his first clearance and rack and run. So you will hear us saying, if you are new to the stream, you'll hear us saying break and run and rack and run. So a rack and run is if you clear the table on your first visit after your opponent had the break. So for example, in this frame, Yuan broke. Chu Bingjie with his first visit at the table, if he can clear the table, that will count as a rack and run, and you will see it is recorded. Rack and runs, break and runs, and consecutive break and runs are recorded. Yeah, I'm seeing a more focused Chu Bingjie already in this match. More purposeful. Yeah, and I think that black ball is through to the center pocket, is it? Yeah, he's having a look at it. Getting that cue ball cleaned, doesn't want any unnecessary kicks going through with this pot. And it's there, he takes his first frame, and that's a rack and run clearance for Chu Bingjie with 1-0 up. This is a winner's break format, so he'll be coming to the table breaking next. Race to 23 grand final.
Chu Bingjie 开球。
As you can see, Chu Bingjie breaking 1-0 up already in this race to 23, and for a minute there it looked like a dry break, just managing to get the 10 ball into the top left. 10 ball off the bottom cushion and then into the top left. Not an easy table with where the cue ball lies currently. I see him looking at the 1 onto the 7 into the center pocket. Now, we don't have the exact statistics of break and runs currently. Those usually come out at the end of the tournament. But if I'm looking at stage 3 alone, and stage 3 is the last 32 of the tournament, where the top 16 Chinese players meet with the top 16 international players, and they are grouped together, and a random draw is done before each match. So if I'm having a look at those statistics with both these players, I have to say the higher break and run rate has to be going to Yuan, because when he does really get into it, I'm seeing 8 on average from him. Also, we do know that he had 5 consecutive break and runs, one of the highest that we have seen on the TV table. Yeah, usually you're seeing a clearance rate of about 70 to 80% and a break and run rate of about 50%. So if they have 13 points, you'll see 6 or 7 break and runs for those 13 points. And if we just look at his last few matches, let's have a look at the one against Li Yiwei. So score against Li Yiwei was 19-16, and he had 8 break and runs, 6 rack and runs. So that's a total of 14 clearances and 19 frames, keeping up that 80+% run out rate in that match. And there was another match from Sun Yan where he also had a very, very high. It's against Zhao Ruliang, also one of the best players in the world currently. Sun Yan winning that 17-12 with, once again, 8 break and runs, 5 rack and runs. So that's 13 clearances in 17 frames. So very high standard indeed from this young man, and that's because of the way he's been breaking also. It's quite like a soft break. It's much softer than we've seen. So of course, crowd favorite, and I would think favorite on the stream is the most consistent player in the last 2 years or so, Chu Bingjie. But I have to tell you that his opposition is a real force to be reckoned with in Sun Yan. If he can get to the table, get those breaks right, he can really do some damage in this match. Yeah, that was an excellent shot from Chu Bingjie. Not much angle to work with there. Had to force that angle out of that ball to get the cue ball to where it is. Yeah, but from frame 1 or shot 1, I've seen a different Chu Bingjie than I've seen in the last few matches. It looks good. It's there. Yeah, he's definitely more focused. He's leveled up for this grand final of this Baotou station. First prize, 277,000 US dollars. Second prize, 111,000. And this black ball for his second point, and that's a break and run. So rack and run, break and run. 2 points, 2 clearances for Chu Bingjie against Sun Yan. Race to 23, winner's break.
第3局，楚秉洁开球。
Yeah, and even Chu Bingjie not hitting them that hard, as you can see, not using the full body into that break. He's just hitting them controlled. Looks like he's using a Predator BK Rush break cue. I mean, that's usually the first thing people look at when they see a good break. They see what cue is the player using. Yeah, but it's all down to technique as well. I would have liked the cue ball slightly more up table, as all his work is in the top half of this table. His opponent in Yuan can also play really well from behind, as he was behind against Heyball yesterday in that losers bracket final. It's the first time we actually saw him playing from behind on the TV table. And in saying that, if this one doesn't go, that's a mistake. But it does look like it goes from the overhead camera, but not easy, those shots where they are so close together. Might actually need his extension for this, as that is halfway across the table. Yeah, extension out. This is a 9-foot Joy Q8 Heyball table. Best playing conditions for Heyball. Clothed with Lieberwin 8848 cloth. This is the official table of the Grandmasters finals. Yeah, he made light work of that one ball to the top left. I'd love to hear your predictions on the stream, and thank you guys for joining us. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. On Facebook, our Joy World Heyball Tour live page. It is our new page, so do share the link so people will know where to find the stream and like the page as well. All our live streams from now on will be on that page. So yeah, we'd love to hear from where you're tuning in from and your predictions for this match. I have to say, one of my predictions already wrong, as I predicted that pressure would get the better of Yuan against Heyball yesterday, and he wouldn't be able to handle that, but I was very wrong about that. He handled that so well, handled himself, kept his nerve, kept his cool, and was able to be victorious against one of the best players to ever pick up a cue in this game of Heyball. So I'm very keen to hear what you guys think and who you think might take this, as we see Chu Bingjie now for his third point, second break and run, and third clearance as he goes 3-0 up. That's 2 break and runs in a row now, 2 consecutive break and runs, and 3 frames in a row for Chu Bingjie. I'm seeing some comments saying Yuan to win and some Chu to win. Yeah, we're seeing a different Chu Bingjie at the moment. He's much more focused than he was in some of the matches that we've seen previously. And there again, that break. Don't see a ball in. Let's have a look at that again. Yeah, nothing in the center. And that's a dry break. That ends his consecutive break and run streak. So currently Chu Bingjie on 3 points, 1 rack and run, 2 break and runs, 3 clearances in a row. But now Yuan to the table, and what can he do? Can he win this frame and get the break? Nice starter on the 3. And it's actually, besides his first break, his first visit now in this match. Now in the past, well, in the last Masters, we spoke about how fatigue could play a role on the player that's come from the losers bracket, as in the losers bracket you are playing twice a day, so you can say sometimes double the amount of matches as the player who's come through the winner's side. Now, those race to 15, 17, 19 matches, 3-4 hour sessions can play a role. And that's where fatigue can start to play a part on a player, but yeah, we're yet to see that. So that's what we'll be looking for. Is he playing the way he's been playing throughout the stage 3 from what we've seen? But also a couple of mistakes creeping in yesterday against Heyball. We saw 3 or 4 errors on the last or second last ball for a clearance. Could have been way ahead on break and runs yesterday, Sun Yan. But Heyball was not able to capitalize, but we know Chu Bingjie will. Chu Bingjie will definitely capitalize, and if he smells blood in the water, especially with the way he's playing at the moment, very focused, very determined. But if Sun Yan can keep the mistakes low and keep that break good that he has been doing thus far, he has a really, really good chance of getting in the lead now and then pulling away, as he does so well. Yeah, so far this has not been the easiest clearance in these last few frames, but he's so far so good. He's a cue ball to run a little bit and looking absolutely perfect to take his first point. And that's a rack and run clearance. So score 3-1 in favor of Chu Bingjie. So far 4 frames played, 4 clearances. 1 rack and run each and 2 break and runs for Chu Bingjie. Yeah, the level is very, very high now. Sun Yan inspecting the rack. So we are using a triangle rack, as you've seen, not the magic rack anymore. So it is difficult to get those balls perfectly touching, especially those front 3 or front 6. And as much as we like to see the tactical play, the safety play sometimes, we also love to see these players playing at their best and making the clearances the way they do. Brilliant to see their pattern play, their routing. Score currently 3-1 in favor of Chu Bingjie in this race to 23 grand final. Sun Yan winning the last frame with a rack and run of Chu Bingjie's dry break. And there's that break again. Almost looks like minimal effort into that, but look at the control on the cue ball. It means he's hitting that pack so solid, all the energy being transferred directly onto that first ball and then through the pack. So currently on the table, only one ball close to a cushion, and that's the 4 on the right side. I wouldn't count the 12 at the bottom as it's near the pocket and a much easier shot. So one ball near the cushion. Now, would that affect his choice in which ball set he goes for? It's not. He's going for solids. Yeah, I would think he wanted the angle on the 5 to play. As you can see, he's also on the 7 possibly, but he wanted the angle on the 5 to play onto the 4, because if he did go cue ball onto the 4, he'd definitely be on the 6 to the left center. That's always the problem with cannons into other balls. You never know exactly where the cue ball is going to go. So yes, rerouting now. He sees that he's landed on the 7. So now he can lessen the angle on the 5. As he has done, and now possibly push through to the 4. There it goes, pushing the 4 into a much more potable position, and have a look at that. And that's rerouting. He had to play that with a touch of right-hand sides to just swerve the cue ball a bit around the black ball and throw that ball into the center. Looks like he's looking for his extension. Yeah, but that was played well, the rerouting and getting the better angle on the 5 to go into the 4. And as you can see, he would have been on the 6 had the 4 gone safe up table as well.
10秒。
We'll use 2 cushions to come around back into the middle part of the table for the 6. And as you can see, black ball passes into the bottom right and left center pocket. Getting really close to his work on the 1 ball at the bottom left. He's playing this left-handed, as you can see. Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant control. He played that shot left-handed. As the way he plays right-handed, you wouldn't have been able to tell the difference. That's how good it looked. And that's a break and run for him. Gets his second point on the board. Score 3-2. 5 frames played, 5 clearances. I do see a question on the YouTube stream. How old is Chu Bingjie? Chu Bingjie is currently 31 years of age, born in 1994. Yeah, indeed, very nice shooting from Sun Yuan, but that's a dry break. So far in this match, 5 frames played, 3-2 in favor of Chu Bingjie in this race to 23 grand final of the Baotou station, Joy Heyball Masters, and 5 clearances. So 100% clearance rate so far in this match. And so far, a perfect standard of play from both these players. And that's what you expect in a final.
10秒。延时。
And we love to see that clean precision finishes from these players. And I think the reason why we've seen tactical frames in the past from these players in the past few matches is sometimes they can realize when they aren't playing their absolute best. So when the potting is not 100% and the position is not 100%, then they are quick to realize that and use their tactical game as well, which is excellent. Excellent tactical play, by the way. But in that way, they're able to secure the frame in other ways rather than just potting themselves out of trouble. And a player who can definitely pot himself out of trouble is Yuan. If you look at our Joy World Heyball Tour page, there is a clip of a clearance from him yesterday against Li Yiwei, one of the best clearances you're going to see. The shot making and the potting ability in that clearance was marvelous from him. So if you have a chance, head over to the Joy World Heyball Tour page and have a look at that clip from Yuan. So this standard at the moment makes you wonder, is this going to be the standard throughout the match? Are we just going to see finish after finish and coming down to breaking ability or potting those balls in the center pockets on the break? Because look at this dry break from Yuan and Chu Bingjie looking to capitalize on it once again. Yeah, now two things now. He doesn't want to be snookered behind the 5, of course, and he doesn't want to be straight on the 11 sitting at the top right corner pocket. And as you see, he didn't push the cue ball all the way to the cushion. So this is interesting. The 11 is also slightly off that cushion. Yeah, enough angle to just bring the cue ball out, but it's not perfect, it's not great. Black ball to the bottom left corner pocket as we're right behind it currently. And it's there, no mistake. Chu Bingjie gets his 4th point on the board. Another rack and run off the dry break of Yuan and score 4-2 now in this race to 23. Yeah, this is an unbelievable standard so far from both these players. So currently 6 frames played, 6 clearances, 2 break and runs, 2 rack and runs from Chu Bingjie, bringing him 4 points and 2 points for Yuan, 1 break and run, 1 rack and run. And there we see added a little bit more power to that break, and he's made, looks like 2 balls on that break. I see the 4 and the 9. Yeah, that's 2 balls on that break, both into the center. As we do know, Chu Bingjie was the master of the previous break, the magic rack, and where you had to have the cue ball on the side of the table, if you remember that from last year. They call that the kitchen, where the cue ball had to be on the balk line. 16 centimeters from each cushion was where you could place the cue ball. And he was one of the best at that break. So it was like a cut break off the first ball, and you'd see two balls tracking towards the center as well. And also had one of the highest break and run rates at that time, Chu Bingjie. So this is a race to 23 winners break format, grand finals of the Baotou station here in Inner Mongolia, China, the 2025 Joy Heyball Masters event. And he's off once again in this frame. And really it's an honor and a privilege to really be watching these players playing at this level. It's so rare these days that we see almost perfection from players. And I'm in awe every time we watch these Heyball events and these Joy events. And if you have been watching the previous few streams on the TV table where Chu Bingjie was playing, he was not playing at this level. Not at all. There were a few mistakes, a few cracks. But I also think he's so experienced, so much of big match temperament behind him. He knows when to switch it on, when to switch it off, when he needs to use it, and when he doesn't. And if this black ball goes down, that's another break and run for Chu Bingjie. As we saw, he put a bit more power into that break, made two balls in the center. And this black ball now for his 5th point. 3rd break and run. And it's there. He goes 5-2 up in this race to 23 winners break format. So far, 7 frames, 7 clearances. 7 perfect frames from these players. So it still is early days in this match. I mean, we've just started and the score's already 5-2 to Chu Bingjie. And what a treat we are in for. 7 frames, 7 clearances. And the 14 looks in. Yeah, he's made a ball on the break. Another one, the 9 goes into that same center pocket as well. Yeah, so far this is one of the best standards I've seen. So far, 100% finish rate in one visit from these players. And he's off again on solids. Currently, Chu Bingjie with 5 points, 3 break and runs, 2 rack and runs. His opponent, Sun Yan, 1 break and run, 1 rack and run. This is a race to 23 winners break format, and this is the grand finals of the Joy Heyball Masters Super Tour Baotou Station, Inner Mongolia, China. These two players have had to work very hard to get to this stage of the tournament. Chu Bingjie coming through the winner's side, not losing a match thus far. Recent match he had to go through Heyball. He also took out Zhao Ruliang into the loser side, and also Li Yiwei. And his opponent, Sun Yan, has been in the loser side of stage 3 since the beginning, losing to Chen Siming 13-4 in the first round, and from there it's been an uphill battle for him, taking out Alex Pagulayan, Stephen Ellis, Tang Shunshao, Kong Deijing, Li Yiwei, Zhao Ruliang, and most recently, as of last night, Zheng Yubo as well. Now with this shot, he had to make sure he's on the right side of the 3 or straight on the 3. Because if he was high, as you can see, if he was on the other side of the 3, he'd be going towards the 5. So all this might look really easy, but it's so calculated. Just being on the wrong side of one ball can be the difference between a clearance and your opponent taking the frame. Taking the black ball to the right center pocket and getting the cue ball clean once again. Now, getting the cue ball clean does come out of the player's time. So these matches have no time limit, but players have 45 seconds per shot in Heyball rules, and 30-second extension per frame, 1 30-second extension. And it's there. He takes his 6-point, 4th break and run for Chu Bingjie. That's another 2 in a row. And the score now 6-2. That brings us to our 8-frame player break in only 40 minutes of play. So every 8 frames we do have a player break. There you can see the statistics. 4 break and runs, 2 rack and runs for Chu Bingjie, 1 each for Sun Yan, 2 consecutive break and runs, 0 errors, 0 fouls. And that's an important statistic. Rate of pocketing a ball on the break, 80% Chu Bingjie, 33% Sun Yan. Very nice to have those statistics from the team at Joy. This is the grand final of the Baotou Station Race to 23 winners break. And we will be back in about 5 minutes. So stay with us, stay tuned, and enjoy the advertisements. As you can see, you'll see some of the best cues in the world and the best chalk as well being used. Thank you guys so much. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. And we are back after that player break. Score is currently 6-2 in favor of Chu Bingjie. And you are currently watching a match that so far has 0 errors, 0 fouls, no missed balls. And it's been nothing short of perfection thus far from both these players. As you see, Chu Bingjie making 2 balls on the break once again. Yeah, those 2 balls tracking straight towards the center pockets. So currently Chu Bingjie with 6 points, 4 break and runs, 2 rack and runs. His opponent Sun Yan, 1 break and run, 1 rack and run. 8 frames, 8 clearances. And we will be having a player break after every 8 frames played. So the next one will be at 16 frames played. Not the easiest starter on solids for Chu Bingjie now. He's taking the 4 down to the bottom left corner pocket. And it's there. Unbelievable. Most players would go for stripes based on the 9 to the center. Deal with the problem somehow, but you know, there's so much you can learn from watching these players playing. They are at the pinnacle of this game, the top of the top. And on the table currently, one of the most successful players in the last few years at this game, Chu Bingjie. Not only most successful, most consistent. And that's one thing you see time and time again in these frames, is these players go for the right shot, not the easy shot. They have, firstly, they have no intention of missing, of course, but you'll see them, the way they root, that first shot is not necessarily the easiest shot on the table, but it's the shot that gives them the best chance at making the clearance on that ball set in that frame. And it's so hard to get into that state of mind. And it's one thing doing it in practice at home or when you are practicing or in a practice match, but it's another thing doing it at a stage like this in the grand final. But it's a mindset. They also aren't worried whether they do miss or not. They know that's the right shot. They play the positive game, play the right shot. And these are all the subtle aspects that make these players so great at this game. And the black ball must pass into the center. He's played on it. And this will be for his 7th point, 5th break and run. It's there. He goes 7-2 up, 5 break and runs, 2 rack and runs, 9 frames played, 9 finishes, 0 balls missed thus far. And not only is it his 5th break and run, it's his 3rd consecutive break and run, as you saw on the screen. So that's quite an important statistic as well. So that shows you how many frames you're keeping your opponent rooted in his seat. Yeah, and those 2 balls in the center once again. And it looks like he's going to be on the 2 if he chooses to take that as his starter. So far, 3 consecutive break and runs for Chu Bingjie. The most we've seen on the TV table was 5, and that was by his opponent, Sun Yan, against Zhao Ruliang. 5 consecutive break and runs in that match, winning that 17-12 with a total of 8 break and runs. Yeah, so far the level, 100% clearance rate is unbelievable. I knew the level was going to be very high, but I never expected this. So far, this is the best level I've seen, and what a match this is. I mean, if you want to see how this game should be played and how you should play this game, these are the matches you need to watch. So much to learn from these 2 players in this match. Now the 5 ball is slightly awkward, as you can see. It doesn't look like it goes down to the bottom right. Yeah, the bottom right blocked by that 11 ball. And that's why he's looking at taking it now. Yeah, something's just distracting him on the table.
延时
Called his extension. Players get 45 seconds per shot, 1 extension of 30 seconds per frame. And you can see him aiming on the left-hand side of the cue ball. So once you swing this cue ball around 2 cushions, there it comes. Oh, what a pot that is. Absolutely ridiculous stuff at the moment from Chu Bingjie. He's landed perfectly on the 6 to the bottom, but I see him looking at the 3. So yeah, he's currently just testing himself now. This is unbelievable. Yeah, 2 cushions again for the 4. Okay, he hasn't come enough for the 4, so was playing on the 6 next, and then he's going to be perfect on the 4, perfect on the black ball. Unbelievable stuff. And look at how straight he is on the 6. That's exactly where he wanted to be, coming into the angle of that 6 ball, so he can just screw back for the 4 into the right center. Now in a clearance like this, would you have taken on the shots that he did? Would that have been your path to clearing the frame? That's the question. I can tell you personally, no, would not have been my path. But unbelievable stuff. As he takes his 6th break and run, he's now 8-2 up against Sun Yan. 10 frames played, 10 perfect frames. 6 break and runs for Chu Bingjie, 2 rack and runs. Really, this is unbelievable stuff here at the moment in this grand finals of the Baotou station at the 2025 Joy Heyball Masters Super Tour.
Chu Bingjie 开球。
So Chu Bingjie to break now, 8-2 up against Sun Yan. And that was his 4th consecutive break and run, and he's potted a ball again. This is dangerous now. Winners break format. Yeah, made 2 balls on the break. I see the 1 and the 9 going into the center, into both center pockets, and there we got a shot of Sun Yan just sitting in his chair, and you have to feel for him. There's nothing he can do. We are watching a masterclass in not only breaking, potting, positional play,
10秒，
but shot selection as well. Absolute masterclass from Chu Bingjie. Now he's taking this 13 down to the bottom right. And it's there, no problem at all. Yeah, and these are the things you have to ask yourself watching this match at the moment. Would you be taking on that shot, judging by how the table looks, knowing how difficult this game is if you've played on this table? And if you would like to play on these tables and you don't have any in your country, feel free to contact Doris Cheng on Facebook or the Joy World Heyball Tour page and see how you can get a table in your country and how you can start a league and get to these tournaments as well. All these Joy tournaments that you do see live streamed are open invitation tournaments, so you just have to message the Joy page and yeah, they'll send you the invitation. As long as you can get there, you can play in these tournaments. And for the Masters Grand Finals, hotels are taken care of as well. We did see over 800 players in the previous one earlier this year. Okay, now he's pushed the black ball to the side cushion. Is that gonna be a problem? With the way he's currently playing, I don't think so. So I see a comment on the YouTube stream that's saying that Sun Yan is falling asleep. I mean, he shouldn't be. Yeah, the next break is at 16 frames played, currently on the 11th rack here. So after every 8 frames, we have a 5-minute player break. And I can't imagine what the scoreline is going to be going into that break, because the current form of Chu Bingjie, the way he's breaking, the way he's playing, currently on 4 consecutive break and runs, a total of 6 at the moment. Oh, look at that. Using the 5 to get the position on the 10 ball. And it looks like he doesn't have much of an angle on the 10, so can he come inside of the 4 to be on the black ball to the bottom? Yes, he can. The only problem with this now is, can he reach it without the rest? Left-handed. Oh, he's playing this left-handed. And this for his 5th consecutive break and run, 9th point. It's there, left-handed. Oh my word, you can hear the applause from the crowd. 9-2 up now, Chu Bingjie with his 5th consecutive break and run. And that is his 7th break and run of the match thus far. I'm really in awe of what we are watching.
第12局出并
And I'm sure you guys watching this at home as well are in absolute awe of the standard of play from both these players, and currently Chu Bingjie at the table. 5 consecutive break and runs, a total of 7. He's 9-2 up in this grand final. And once again, oh my word. How can a player be breaking that well? 3 balls in on the break using a triangle rack. I can't believe it. And please guys, share the link. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. The Joy World Heyball Tour YouTube page and Joy World Heyball Tour live Facebook page. Share the link and just let people know what's going on, because if people are currently missing this live match, they are missing a piece of history. I did see a comment saying that Chu Bingjie is setting records. These players are definitely setting records. And so far, 11 frames played and 11 perfect frames. I don't think we've ever seen a standard like this before, to this level. See, William is saying that the opponent needs to practice on another table while Chu Bingjie is busy. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. The winner break format can be tough, but then again, it comes down to who can break like Chu Bingjie, and so far, hardly anyone. So if you can break that well, so that means you've practiced this break, because breaking like that doesn't come automatically. It really doesn't. I've tried it, and it's so difficult to break like that, potting a ball regularly on the triangle break from head on. So he's practiced that break for hours, countless of hours, most probably as much as he practices other shots. He's practiced the break. That's why he's so successful at it. So the winner break format definitely an advantageous to the player who's been practicing the breaks and who's breaking better. And that's just one way of using the rules to your advantage. I mean, everyone has the same opportunity to use that rule to their advantage. I can't believe this is so far the best match that I've ever had the privilege of watching and commentating on, and I'm in absolute awe of what's going on in this match at the moment. As we see, 6th consecutive break and run, 8th break and run in total from Chu Bingjie. 10 point now, he leads 10 frames to 2 in this race to 23 grand final of the Baotou station.
注册资金500万，员工230余名，有着10余年的生产经验及研发设计、生产销售于一体的大型生产企业。优秀的员工、先进的技术、精良的设备，严格的管理使公司得以不断的发展壮大。精确、可靠、专业是我们生产的精神和服务信念。
天一沙发，让舒适无处不在。
Yeah, so that was 6 consecutive break and runs for Chu Bingjie. That's 8 break and runs in total. So 6 break and runs in 6 consecutive means that he's kept his opponent in the chair for 6 frames. Oh, and it's there again. This is too much. This is too much. I can't imagine how Sun Yan is feeling. That is, look, there's a term in 9-ball and they call it the electric chair. And if you've ever watched a 9-ball, you'd know that if it's winner break format in 9-ball, it can be so dangerous, as you can have an opponent running 7 or 8 racks in a race to 9. And so they call that the electric chair. If you are sitting there watching your opponent just clear rack after rack, And then, of course, if you do get a chance, you have to be able to get to the table and make something happen in that visit. So score is currently 10 frames to 2 to Chu Bingjie, and yeah, we are really seeing his best so far in this tournament. He has not been playing like this so far, but then again, he's the kind of player who can level up when he needs to and just turn it on when he does. This is a race to 23 winner break format, as you can see. Chu Bingjie definitely using that winner's break format to his advantage. And yeah, this is the grand final of the 2025 Joy Heyball Masters Super Tour, Baotou Station here in Inner Mongolia, China. And currently Chu Bingjie at the table, absolutely ruthless. Yes, see a comment on the YouTube stream that Sun Yan will lose some confidence and he'll be doubting if he can come back. Yeah, so that's exactly what happens when you are in the open quote electric chair close quote, is the mind starts to play games with you, and it is a very, very difficult situation to be in. But one of the positives for him is that he has not missed a ball. So he hasn't done anything wrong except dry break once. It's different. It's a different scenario if you are playing bad and your opponent is doing this to you, but he hasn't done much wrong. He hasn't missed a ball, has Sun Yan. So I think when he does, if he does come to the table, he will be able to play the way we've seen him play in the past. And mind you, we've seen him have 5 consecutive break and runs in the past. So it's not something that he can't do. Currently, Chu Bingjie on 6 consecutive break and runs, the most we've seen on the TV table thus far. And he's going to need a good shot here now, bridging over, hampered by that stripe. Yeah, the focus is next level from Chu Bingjie. And there we get a shot of Sun Yan. And I personally, I feel for him. I really do, because there's absolutely nothing he can do at the moment. So this black ball to the center for Chu Bingjie's 11th point, 9th break and run, 7 consecutive break and runs as he now leads 11 frames to 2 in this race to 23 grand final. And there we see it, 7 consecutive break and runs for Chu Bingjie, highest we've seen thus far. Yeah, I'm seeing a few comments talking about the winner's break format, but guys, you have to remember that it's winner's break for everyone. Everyone has the same opportunity to master the break. So if you are the type of player who can master the break, and if I tell you that Chu Bingjie has put in, I'll give you an example, 100 hours on mastering the break, then you can see why it's fair. So you have to remember, it's the work the players are putting into the break. It's the same rules for everyone. It's the same break, same opportunity, same rack, same table. And he is the type of player who will try his best to master the break, as he did with the previous break, the magic rack break. And you have to ask yourself the question too, as players, how much time do you spend trying to master the break, whether you're playing American pool, Chinese pool, or normal English pool? And that's the first positional mistake from Chu Bingjie. And he's gonna need the spider. There we see this once again. Yeah, slight miscalculation on the cannon into the 6, and you see the body language. He's absolutely ruthless when he's at the table. He doesn't want to let his opponent back. Called his extension with good reason. Now this 13 to the bottom left. This is tough. We're right behind it. We'll know if it's there. It's there. Oh my word. He's pushed the 5 to the center though, so this is gonna need some recovery, but what a shot that was. And that's the first miss of the grand final so far. And you could see what he was trying to do. So the consecutive break and run streak is over at 7 consecutive. And now Sun Yuan comes to the table 11-2 down. Yeah, now we're gonna see the grit that this player has. So we did speak about whether it will come down to the breaks in this match, and so far the breaks have been almost perfect from Chu Bingjie to get those 7 consecutive break and runs, 9 break and runs in total thus far out of 11 points. Mind you, if Sun Yuan can convert this point and make this clearance in this visit, that'll be a rack and run for him, so that will maintain the 100% clearance rate in this match thus far. And I think, and he has to, he can't afford to let Chu Bingjie back to the table. And you have to remember also that because it's winner's break, as I've said, it favors both players. both players are playing winner's break format. So if he can now win this frame, go 11-3 and make 7 consecutive break and runs, then he's all of a sudden at 11-10. So it's fair play to both players, to all players playing the winner's break format. It's all about who has put enough time into that break and who's breaking better at that time. It looks like he got just enough angle on the 4 to get back for the 1 ball. Yeah, stun off and on the side cushion for the 1 into the bottom right corner pocket. Now the black ball goes into the bottom right as well. Same pocket as the 1. Okay, a little bit pacey. Just a little bit pacey. You can see him, he wants to get the QR moving. Sun Yuan gets his 3rd point on the board, and that was a pressure clearance to make. That was a rack and run as well. 1 visit clearance for Sun Yuan. So far score 11-3. So the score now 11 frames to 3 in favor of Chu Bingjie. Now can Sun Yuan break well? Oh, he's made the 14 into the center. He didn't make the 2 coming straight off the pack. Watch the 14. 14 goes around the table, 2, 3 cushions, and into that center pocket. And that's the most important thing. He's made a ball. So far in this match, 12 or 14 frames played and 14 clearances. We have 9 break and runs from Chu Bingjie, 2 rack and runs, and 1 break and run, 2 rack and runs from Sun Yuan. We will have a player break at 16 frames played. Yeah, now he just has to stay at the table. He has to keep potting, keep breaking well. And that's the only way back, because can't afford to give the table back to Chu Bingjie now. Not after what we've witnessed. Yeah, and he's missed that 6, man. He was trying to get the position with the cue ball. And look, that's a shot we've seen him pot time and time again, but he hit that slightly too thin and hitting the outside jaw just too high. So table back to Chu Bingjie. He leads 11 frames to 3 in this race to 23 grand final of the Baotou Station 2025 Joy Heyball Masters Super Tour. So if he can make this clearance, that'll be another rack and run for him. 1 visit clearance. And to be honest, I don't think he expected to be back at the table that fast. As did we. We expected Sun Yan to make a couple of clearances, as we've seen him do throughout this tournament, but that's what can happen when you've been sat in that chair for that long. See some comments saying this final will end sooner than expected. We were planning on about 5 or 6 hours for the race to 23. These aren't timed matches, but that's what the schedule allowed for, or was planned for. And so far we've been playing for just over 1 hour, so 1 hour 23 minutes. And Chu Bingjie takes his 12th point, now leading 12 frames to 3 with that rack and run first visit to the table after Sun Yan's break.
乔氏金腿比赛专用，提醒您，精彩比赛马上开始。一线赛事指定台迷丁俊晖、奥沙利文、郑宇博、楚秉杰等不例外一线球星代言。利百文，中国台迷领导品牌。
Absolutely brilliant view of the Joy Q8 golden leg table. So noticeable that it's a Joy Q8 with that golden legs and golden frame. Clothed with Lieberwin 8848 cloth. Only the best conditions to play this game on. The most consistent conditions in the world. Oh, look at that. He raises his hand. And Chu Bingjie is one of the only players you'll see raise his hand on the break. Watch this. So the 2 balls don't go in the center. But have a look at the 11 knocking the 12 in, and he raises his hand. So he knows that was a slight piece of good fortune. And the reason he's raised his hand is because these players don't play on good fortune. They play on ability. But sometimes you do need a touch of good fortune. Sun Yan would be hoping some of that comes his way. Yeah, as you see him moving the stripe, that's to open the black ball to that center as well. So score now 12-3, that's 15 frames played, so far 15 finishes. And when I say that, I'm talking about 1 visit clearances. So even when Chu Bingjie missed, Sun Yan was able to come to the table and clear the table in 1 visit. So 15 frames, 15 clearances. We will have a 5-minute player break after this. Frame every 8 frames. Currently Chu Bingjie on 9 break and runs, 3 rack and runs. His opponent Sun Yan 1 break and run, 2 rack and runs. And a rack and run is recorded if you can clear the table at your first visit off your opponent's break. Yeah, I'm seeing quite a few comments regarding the winner's break rule, and once again you have to understand that the only reason Chu Bingjie is breaking that well is it's because of the effort he's put into that break, to practicing the break. So as a player, you have to ask yourself, how many hours have you put in practicing the break? Have you spent as many hours practicing the break as you do shots or clearances? Because that's what these players do. They can spend hours a day, just one entire day, 8 hours, just the break. Obviously, they have somebody racking the balls for them, but that's what they'll do, just break for 8 hours. Now, when you look at that, you have to remember that the rules then favor the player who's working harder. And the player is actually the one making the rules favor him. And every player who enters the tournament has the exact same rule set that they are playing with. So not only has Chu Bingjie mastered the break, he's mastered almost every other aspect of the game. And that's where you can see the scoreline is what it is. That did not happen overnight. And as you can see, he's come too far on the 5, so he's looking to play the 5 off the 14, and this... Is it there? It's not. It was the only way he was going to be on that black ball. As you can see, he was, so things not going that smoothly for him, but almost making that 5 ball. Look at that. And after this frame, we will have a player break. So can Sun Yan make it 12-4, or does Chu Bingjie go into the break 13-3, leading by 10 frames?
10秒，延时。
What a table to come to, being 12-3 down in this grand final race to 23, and you have those 2 stripes on the side of the table, on the left side, and the 5 just hanging in the bottom left corner pocket. But if there's a player who can manufacture a great clearance, it's this player on the table currently. So with that shot, it looks like he's going to be playing the 11 onto the 5. That is a legal shot in Heyball rules. You can pot your opponent's ball as long as you make contact with yours first. Players use that to gain a tactical advantage. But he needs to get the cue ball safe after potting that 5. The play was for behind the 14, but he's managed to get it. Looks like the 9 from this view. Let's have a look at the table. Yes, it is the 9. The jump cue already in hand. But it is a touch close. You see a ball space between cue ball and 9, so he's not going that route, deciding to use the cushions. And the way he's looking at this, he's looking at 2 cushions.
10秒。
Yes, 2 cushions.
5、4。
Doesn't have an extension. You hear the referee counting down. Direct contact. Okay, so that tactical shot from Sun Yan definitely giving him the advantage in this frame now. That black ball at the top of the table means he does have options at the bottom. This 13 should go to that right center pocket. And you have to think what will be going through this player's mind as they go into the break now. That 5-minute break. Look, this is one of his best finishes in a Joy Heyball tournament up to date. I can tell you something, he does not want to lose with a scoreline the way it is. He wants to win this match. He's such a hungry player. He's taken out such good players. Most of the players he's taken out are in the top 16 of the Joy rankings. Yeah, playing that confidently off 2 cushions, coming into the black ball. As he gets his 4th point on the board, Sun Yan, he now trails 12-4 to Chu Bingjie in this grand final race to 23 winners break, and that will be a 5-minute player break. And yeah, I suggest you be back in about 4 minutes, as you don't want to miss any shots or any frames from this final. There we see that once again. So 0 errors, 0 fouls, 7 consecutive break and runs from Chu Bingjie, 80% rate of pocketing a ball on the break, and that's been the difference in this match. That rate of pocketing a ball on the break, 80% to 33%, the main difference. And that was our first frame without a break and run or rack and run, so without a clearance. I'm your commentator, Raymond Tilak, and we will be back in about 4 to 5 minutes. Thank you, guys. And we are back after that player break and the 16th frame. So this is the 17th frame now. Sun Yan to break. Score currently 12-4 to Chu Bingjie. This is a winner's break format. Grand final, race to 23. He needs these breaks to work, and they are. Yeah, that's the break we are used to from him, and he needs to get those numbers up. We did see the rate of pocketing a ball on the break, 80% to Chu Bingjie, just 33% to Sun Yan. So those numbers need to come up if he's going to stand a chance against Chu Bingjie in the form that he is in. In the last frame, we saw that tactical shot working out in his favor.
10秒。
Not really forcing a mistake from Chu Bingjie, but forcing a better position for himself, and he was able to take that frame, and that's why he was breaking in this match, in this frame, winner's break format, as you know. Yeah, I'd love to see him breaking well and getting back into this match. He has the opportunity now to use that winner's break rule to his advantage, stay at the table and put a couple of break and runs and consecutive break and runs on the board. And he needs it more than anything now, the most. A nice little kiss on the black ball has opened the 4. So what does he play? Does he go 4, 3, 1? Yeah, got a better shot on the 3 now from where he is. And this is exactly what he needs now. Yeah, playing it the confident way, going 2 cushions across to get on the black ball to the left center. And it's there. He gets another break and run for himself on the board. Score now 12-5, and that's his second break and run for the match. 12-5 to Chu Bingjie, race to 23. This is the grand final of the Baotou Heyball Masters Station event.
第18局，孙源开球。
So score 12-5 now to Chu Bingjie. Sun Yan needs another good break, another break and run. Looks good, 11 into the side and the 10. Yeah, and that's what I was saying. His break is so good when he gets it right. He's pocketing those balls in the side pocket, and also if you have a look at the table, there's nothing near the cushion. Could say the 4 is close to the cushion, but that pots to the bottom right corner. Slight problem with the stripe and the 3, but other than that, look at the table. Most of the balls close to the center playing surface of the table, that making it much easier to make a clearance than if you had 3 or 4 balls against the cushion. And yesterday against Heyball, we did say that was one of his strengths, his break. So he needs that to come out now. Needs that to come to the forefront in this match. But in saying that, loose positional shot from him on the solids. And the race to 23 is quite a long race. But not when your opponent is already more than halfway there. This looks good. This looks good. It's not there. Outside jaw on the 7, and table given away to Chu Bingjie. So that's a mistake. That is a positional play mistake from Yuan. Now, how costly will that be? He could not afford any mistakes, being 12-5 down in this race to 23 grand final. And the way we've seen Chu Bingjie play, those 7 consecutive break-in runs, we know what he's capable of, we know what he can do. Taking his time on this,
10秒，延时。
calling his extension as well. Players have 45 seconds per shot, 1 extension of 30 seconds a frame. And he's called this extension with good reason. Mapping out his route to that black ball on these stripes. And I can tell you, he played into that 5 ball, always knew the cue ball was heading that way, but played it in such a way that the cue ball would hit it and continue with its momentum out. Yeah, very nicely using the 2 as well to stop the cue ball. Yeah, and he's off again. Great recovery on that finish. Back in pole position. Really nice position on the 9 for the black ball to the bottom right corner pocket. And this will be his 13.4th rack and run. And it's there. 13.4th rack and run for him. He leads 13-5. over Yuan.
你说青春是什么颜色？赤橙黄绿青蓝紫。青春就不该被简单的定义，打破常规，不被定义。小麦皮头独角兽系列快乐上市。
As you can see, rack 19 to get underway as we have a beautiful view of the Joy Q8 golden leg table. It is clothed with Lieberwin 8848 cloth, and If you do want to get your hands on one of these tables, please do contact the Joy page, as well as the salesperson Doris Cheng. And you as well can be playing on the best available Heyball equipment on the market, the official table of the Grand Masters Finals. So score 13-5, we see Chu Bingjie potting on the break once again. 13 points, 13 clearances from him, 9 break and runs, 4 rack and runs. So every single point of his has come from a 1-visit clearance. His opponent Sun Yan with 5 points, 2 break and runs, 2 rack and runs. So 4 clearances in total for him. So there was only 1 frame in this match thus far, in 18 frames, that was not won by a 1-visit clearance. Have you ever seen a Heyball match at this level before? Because I haven't. It's one of the best quality matches that I've had the pleasure of commentating on and viewing. And really such a pleasure to be watching these players playing the way they are in this grand final. Absolute superstars, both these players. He's played on the 9 to the center. So where is he going to take the 12? The 12, you see, blocked by the 1 to the center. That does go to the top right and bottom right. And it's those shots, that maneuvering the cue ball like that to just knock into the 3, that the 3 does not become a problem when you're cueing. It's those little shots, because how often have you been playing and you play a shot like that and your next shot you are hampered by the object ball that's so close to the cue ball. It's those little cue ball movements that's really stunning. And he's played this 12 now for the more direct shot to the top left corner pocket. Now he can't possibly go ahead and start that consecutive break and run streak again, can he? Because then, as I've seen in the comment section, this final is gonna be over much sooner than expected if he can continue with that form that he did in the beginning of the match, with those 7 consecutive break and runs. And this black ball now for his 14th point, 10th break and run, and he is at it again. He leads 14 frames to 5 over Sun Yan with that break and run. This is a race to 23 winners break format grand final of the Baotou station in Mongolia 2025 Joy Heyball Master Super Tour.
20局，楚并界开球。
So score currently 14-5 to Chu Bingjie, as we see that 6 ball going in on the break. So he's made a ball once again. He has 10 break and runs And so far, that is the highest percentage break and run rate we have seen on the TV table in stage 3 of this tournament. And he has 4 rack and runs, so that is a 100% one visit clearance rate from Chu Bingjie. Also, we did see he has a very high rate of potting a ball on the break. As we see him missing the first ball on that visit. That was to secure stripes. So Sun Yan now to the table, open table. And he has to utilize his chances now. 14-5 down. Race to 23. Chu Bingjie is 9 frames away from the finish line and 9 frames away from his opponent currently. Off the one, no, it's not there. It's not there, and that miss from Sun Yan, not taking that chance, brings Chu Bingjie to the table now, 14-5 up. Yeah, and what a pot that is. That is the second tactical frame we've seen in this match thus far. Have a look at the 11 down to the bottom right corner pocket, off the jaw and in. Yeah, it's only the second frame we've seen that both players have had multiple visits at the table. Yeah, and once again, Chu Bingjie on a roll here to get his 15th point if he can convert this frame. Yeah, nicely cued that 15, but was playing on the 10 next. I think he might have overrun that slightly. Yeah, needs to hold the cue ball for the gap between the black ball and the 7 of this 12. I think he just might have the 10 to the bottom left. This is a race to 23, the grand finals of the 2025 Joy Heyball Masters Super Tour, Baotou Station here in Inner Mongolia. We are watching Chu Bingjie against Yuan, and an absolute masterclass so far from Chu Bingjie, especially in the breaking department. Above 80% rate of pocketing a ball on the break. And he's missed the black ball. It's not often you see these players missing a black ball. Not at all. And that was for his 15th point. As we see that again. Yeah, he's overcut that to the inside jaw just slightly. And that's millimeters between him being 15-5 up, but now a chance for Yuan to put another frame on the board. Yeah, that one went off the inside jaw and in at 5 ball now. Not the easiest of clearances, as you see the 4 near to the bottom cushion and the 2 on the side cushion. At a point like this, in a final like this, nothing is going to come easy. Yeah, he was so focused on getting the cue ball down table that he took his eye off the pot on the 1 end. And these small mistakes are really going to be costly, especially playing against a player like Chu Bingjie and the form he's in currently. Can't be missing a shot like that against a player who can run 7 break and runs in a row. So Chu Bingjie, this black ball for his 15th point, and the cue ball looks to be safe. It is. He goes 15-5 up in this race to 23 grand final. Chu Bingjie breaking now. This is a winner's break format. He's currently 15-5 up. And that's not because his opponent is playing that bad. It's because he is playing this well in this match. As we see the 7 in. Yes, he's got a ball on the break once again. And this is due to him breaking so well. He's kept his opponent in that chair for 8 frames in a row earlier in the match. There was 1 rack and run and then those 7 consecutive break and runs. There's nothing, I can't fault Yuan at all. He's one of the best players that we have seen playing this game as well in the last few matches. And even if you look at his run to the final through the losers bracket, he's had to defeat some of the top 10 players in the world in Tang Shunshao, Zhao Ruliang, Kong Deijing, Li Yiwei, and recently last night, Zheng Yubo. It's just that we've seen a different form from Chu Bingjie today. Much more focused than we saw in his previous few matches in this tournament. And that lead, virtue of those 7 consecutive break and runs, and that's because he's able to master that break in the way he does. So currently Chu Bingjie with 10 break and runs, 4 rack and runs, and his opponent Sun Yan 2 break and runs and 2 rack and runs. So still 90% or higher than 90% clearance rate in this match thus far from both players. Yeah, actually 90% on the head, 90% finish rate from both these players in this final. And this is one of the best quality matches that I've ever had the pleasure of commentating on. Yeah, perfectly coming just past the 9 to play the 2 ball into the bottom left. Now where is this black ball going? Does he have the angle to just stun the cue ball slightly up the left hand side? Yes, he does. Is he? I don't think he'll be looking at black ball to the center. I prefer him stunning up and playing black ball into the bottom right. Yes, it comes past the 12 and he's on the black ball to the bottom right. Now we did see him missing a black ball in the previous frame. You'll want to forget about that quickly. And it's there, another break and run for Chu Bingjie as he takes his 16-point, he leads 16-5 over Sun Yan. 11 break and runs now for Chu
超
Bingjie.
级蓝钻皮头，黄金版、白金版，采用进口头层水牛皮，颗颗精选，严格质检，韧性好，弹性持久，世界职业球员必用的皮头。超级蓝钻，一专业，缔造不凡。
So score now currently 16-5 to Chu Bingjie over Sun Yan. This is a race to 23 grand final of the Baotou station at the 2025 Joy Heyball Masters Super Tour event. And watch those center pockets, and there's a ball once again. It's the 5 into the center. Good question on the stream. What's the difference between break and runs and rack and run? So a break and run is a break and finish off your break. A rack and run is counted when you make a 1-visit clearance off your opponent's break. So even if your opponent breaks and goes right up to the black ball but misses, and you come to the table and make a clearance in 1 visit, that is a rack and run. So you see Chu Bingjie once again with that excellent break of his, potting the solid 5 into the center now. Looking at which ball set to play, and his first shot, he's taken his extension. Players have 45 seconds per shot in Heyball rules and 1 extension of 30 seconds per frame. Taken stripes with that opening shot. Hasn't left himself anything that easy. He has to play the 10 now to the top right corner pocket. Chu Bingjie currently on 11 break and runs, 4 rack and runs. His opponent Sun Yan 2 break and runs, 2 rack and runs, and 5 points. Yeah, you see that 10 going off the outside jaw. That's the place that you aim for, just at the slate drop on the outside jaw, and the pocket will take it. The pocket hardly ever takes it if you do touch the inside jaw first. Yeah, and I did see a comment in the comment section also. It's talking about Chu Bingjie's consistency. Yes, that's very true. He is one of the most consistent players in the past few years of this game. And I can also tell you that the reason he's breaking as well as he is not by luck. That is hard work going into that break. Hours and hours of practice, and that's the reason he does have the consistency in all parts of his game, especially that break shot being so important in this winner break format. So I'm going to run the cue ball off the top cushion back to the center of the table. He's landed slightly off angle on the 14, so he's going to have to move this white a bit. He doesn't want to leave the 9 too long to the bottom right corner pocket. Behind the 6, oh look at this, 3 cushions around. And the angle that he's left on the 9, he can stun the cue ball across to play the black ball into the right center pocket. And it's there. Cue ball looks good as well. And this will be another break and run for Chu Bingjie. His 17th point, 12th break and run, and 2nd consecutive break and run once again. Chu Bingjie currently 17-5 up on Sun Yan. That's 22 frames played. We will have a player break after 24 frames played once again. Chu Bingjie breaking now. This is a winner's break format. He's currently 17-5 up with 12 break and runs. And look at the 3. Once again, always getting that ball into the left center pocket. And if you notice the way the cue ball's tracking, he's hitting the pack on the opposite side than the ball is falling in the center pocket. Because the cue ball is always traveling onto the right side of the table. He's looking at the 2 ball to the bottom left. And as you can see, this is almost straight cue ball on the cushion. This is a tough pot. Needs perfectly straight cueing, especially to get the cue ball around the angles at the bottom. It's not there. So we aren't going to see another 7 consecutive break and runs from him. As Sun Yan comes to the table, currently 17-5 down in this race to 23. Grand final of the Baotou station here in Inner Mongolia, part of the 2025 Joy Heyball Masters Super Tour event. And Sun Yan needs to take every single opportunity he gets. And this is an excellent opportunity for him to get another point on the board and make a 1-visit clearance. Do see a comment on the YouTube stream saying winner's break isn't fair at all, especially when playing guys this good. You have to remember that Sun Yan is that good. He is a very good player. He had 5 consecutive break and runs against Zhao Ruliang, and Zhao Ruliang regarded as a top 10 Joy Heyball player in the world as well. So winner's break favors the player that's breaking well and able to also make the clearances. So if you are behind and you can now utilize that to your advantage, you can make a comeback as well. And we are seeing Sun Yan doing that and getting his 6th point with that rack and run, 1 frame, 1 visit in that frame. Score 17-6 now in this race to 23. This is rack 24 underway now. Sun Yan to break in this winner's break format. He's currently 17-6 down, able to get that 6th point from the miss from Chu Bingjie and an excellent 1-visit clearance from him. As we see, he's potted a ball on the break. Now can he get the 7th point and another break and run to his name?
10秒，延时。
Yeah, very right, Mr. Spoodlatler, and thank you for being on the stream as well. Chu's consistency is very high. 100% agree with that. I don't know about the second part about that statement, but yeah, thank you so much, and excellent job also at the Commonwealth Games done recently in Mauritius. So now this opportunity for Sun Yan, and he has to take every single opportunity he gets at the table. can't afford any mistakes. And this not an easy clearance on stripes for him. As we see, the 13 is almost frozen to that right side cushion, just under the center pocket. That requires good potting if he can't manage to break that out into open play. That's what he tried to do, but now I think the 15 is safe next to the 3, unfortunately. As we see him playing off the 3, yeah, that's unlucky. Unlucky, so he's gonna need to find a way to get to that 15 again. And the gap currently 11 frames. You don't see that often, especially in a grand final and at this stage in a tournament. It just goes to show the consistency of Chu Bingjie. And that consistency showing in those 7 consecutive break and runs that he had earlier in this match. I'd say for those first 20 frames or so in this match, or 15 frames, was near perfect from both players. Unbelievable how high the level of play has been, but what has he done? He was forcing that cue ball out of there and up table towards the 15, but he's missed the pot on the 13. And he must have cheated the pocket a little bit, because these pockets don't like being cheated at all, and especially at pace like that. Oh, look at this. Look at that shot from Chu Bingjie, deciding that there wasn't a clearance on, although I half expected him to bank the 1 into the opposite center. But he's also realized that the 15 is a problem for his opponent. Now we will have a 5-minute player break after this frame. Can Sun Yan close the gap down to 10 frames at least? Watch the cue ball. It's managed to stay on the table. So will we see Chu Bingjie attempting a clearance now, or putting that cue ball safe once again? If he can keep the cue ball in the balk area or on the balk cushion, it is quite safe, especially with where the 15 is on the right side for Sun Yan. Potting Chu Bingjie's 1 ball in the center, that is a legal shot. As long as you make contact with your object ball first, you can pot your opponent's ball. Not too sure if he went for the pot on the 12, but he wanted to definitely place it, say, in a better position. He hasn't blocked that pocket. The 3 and 15. Still a problem for both players on this table, and
延时
that's the reason you'll see Chu Bingjie now taking his time. He's taken his extension. Players get one extension of 30 seconds per frame. These matches are not timed, so no time limit on these matches, but players have 45 seconds per shot in Heyball rules. I believe this is only the third frame so far in these 24 frames that's actually been multiple visit frame from both players. So you can say the third tactical frame of this match thus far. The rest have been clearances all the way from both players. Currently Chu Bingjie on 12 break-in runs, 4 rack-in runs. That's 16 clearances out of 17. And his opponent, Sun Yan, 2 break-in runs, 3 rack-in runs out of 6. And Chu Bingjie now just 6 points away from the finish line in this race to 23. We all would love to see his opponent Sun Yan start to break in better and make a comeback. He's left the 2 on. The 2 goes. So if there was a time to go for the finish, this would be it. Because not only does the 2 go, if he can leave an angle on the 4, he can take the cue ball towards the 3 afterwards. He's tempted, he's definitely tempted by this 2 ball. Yeah, I think he's going for it. Referee calls 10 seconds. He doesn't have an extension left. That was a attempted pot. Definitely on the 2 and trying to hold the cue ball for the 4. It's there, and he breaks the 15 as well. What a shot that is from Sun Yan. That's exactly what he needed in this match. That was an absolutely brilliant shot. So that's a mistake from Chu Bingjie. And he's opened the door in this frame for Sun Yan to get his 7th point. And that is not the best positional shot he's played. Needs another good pot on the 12 to the bottom right. It's not there. He's overcut that. He's actually hit cushion first and then brought the 12 out, and that's, yeah, I think that's going to be a costly mistake. That was an excellent chance for him to get his 7th point on the board, go into the break just 10 down, currently 11 down, and if Chu Bingjie takes this frame, it's going to be 12 down. And just going into the break, knowing you won the last frame before the player break makes a difference. You'll also be coming out from the break, and you'll be the player that will be breaking in this winner's break format. Brilliant positional play to get on that 4-ball from Chu Bingjie. Question is, how much of damage did those 7 consecutive break and runs do to Sun Yan? I mean, can you imagine being in that situation, playing in the winner's break format and sitting in your chair for 7 frames? And it was actually 8 frames because it started with a rack and run, and then he started his 7 consecutive break and runs. So sitting in your chair for 8 frames, what does that do to you mentally? And especially for Chu Bingjie to do that in a grand final. I mean, so much on the line, not only prize money, but pride as well. Prize money being $277,000 for the winner, 111,000 for second place. And this looks like this point is going to go the way of Chu Bingjie. This black ball for his 18th point in this race to 23 grand final, as he takes us to the 5-minute player break. Chu Bingjie with 18 points now, leading 18-6 over Sun Yan in this grand final race to 23 winners break format. And we should see those statistics come on the screen now. There we go. 94% rate of potting a ball on the break for Chu Bingjie, 71% for Sun Yan. And he has brought that up from 33. So definitely made a difference, made a dent in that. But yeah, it's those consecutive break and runs and the total break and runs costing Sun Yan in this match thus far. So we will be back in about 4 minutes. You don't want to miss any part of this grand final.
结束，比赛继续。第25局，楚冰姐开球。
And we are back after that 24-frame player break. Score currently 18-6 to Chu Bingjie. He won the last frame with that mistake from Yuan. Chu Bingjie currently on 12 break and runs, and you can see why. Look at that break again, getting 2 balls into the side pockets. Look at this, the 7 and the 10 straight in off the break. So Chu Bingjie currently with 12 break and runs, 4 rack and runs. His opponent Yuan on 6 points with 2 break and runs, 3 rack and runs. And the highlight so far of this match, Chu Bingjie with 7 consecutive break and runs in this winner's break format. And if you are just joining us, this is the grand final race to 23 in the 2025 Joy Heyball Masters Super Tour Baotou Station here in Inner Mongolia, China. And at the table now, one of the most consistent players and most successful players in Heyball in the last few years, Chu Bingjie. And I have to say, has one of the best breaks and most consistent breaks as well in this new format. And that really helping him in this winner's break format. Yeah, but it's not only his break that's so consistent, it's every part of his game. You don't get to be the player he is and be that far ahead on the scoreline if every part of your game is not near perfect. So hours and hours and so much of time would have gone into creating the player he is today. His finishing ability and potting also on display here. This black ball for his 19th point and another break and run as it's in. He leads 19-6 over Yuan in this race to 23. 13 break and runs in total for Chu Bingjie. Chu Bingjie to get us underway now in the 26th frame of this match. Yeah, something just distracting him in the crowd possibly. Currently on 13 break and runs in total. And watch the 14, that's why. That ball always going into the left side pocket, and this time he's made another one. He's made the 3 in the right side as well. So 2 balls in on that break, and look at the cue ball, well controlled, well placed. So Chu Bingjie really showing us that you don't need to hit this break that hard, that it's more about control and precision than brute force. And if he can get this frame on the scoreboard, it'll be another break and run and will take him just within 3 frames of the winning line. This is a race to 23 grand finals of the Baotou Super Tour Station event. Yeah, I agree with you, Peter Hill, 100%. Effortless perfection from Chu Bingjie so far in this match, in every aspect of his game. He's also been able to come through those few tactical battles. There has been very few of those in this match, but yeah, the scoreline is what it is because he's been able to break better, manufacture those clearances better than his opponent. So out of his 19 points, 13 break and runs, 4 rack and runs, so that's 17 clearances from 19 points. That is one of the highest clearance rates that I've seen in Heyball thus far. And that's hovering around the 90% mark on clearances. Yeah, he just has to watch the 4, bump into the 4, and he's good. He looks to be good on the black ball to the bottom left. And this for another break and run. This will be his 14th and 20th point of the match, and it's there. He leads 20 frames to 6 over Sun Yan in this race to 23 grand final. Already on 2 consecutive breaks once again is Chu Bingjie. Chu Bingjie now to break again. He leads 20 frames to 6 in this race to 23 grand final. Have a look at the left side pocket this time, not making the 14. I think that's only his 2nd or 3rd dry break of the entire match. So he's just 3 away from the finish line now, is Chu Bingjie. His opponent 14 frames behind him. And you have to remember, because it is a winner's break format, that also gives the player that's down the opportunity to make those consecutive break and runs and stay at the table. Yeah, it's just not going his way. It's the 2nd ball I've seen him overhit, and Yeah, it was the stripe, the 13 stripe 2 or 3 frames ago that didn't go into the bottom right as well. So things just working against Sun Yuan at the moment, and he's not able to capitalize on these chances from Chu Bingjie. Yeah, and he's going once again on these stripes. It's going to be interesting to see how he releases the 9. I don't think the 9 passes into the top left corner. And although we know that Chu Bingjie is one of the most consistent and successful Heyball players in the last few years, especially recently, now and again he has these matches where he plays like this, and he really shows the world why he is where he is in the game of Heyball. Utter domination thus far in this match. Does he release the 9? Yes, he does. Oh, what a shot that is. Absolutely brilliant way of releasing the 9. He almost half ball on the 5, making sure it goes around the 9. Obviously the balls have to roll a bit in your favor to get that right, but absolute class from Chu Bingjie at the moment. Now, as you can see, the 11 does not pass into the right center pocket. So at the moment, the 11 only going into the bottom left. Needs a good shot on this 13 to the bottom right now to land on that. Yeah, that's brilliant. Slightly low on this 11. It's going to be taking the cue ball into the 1. If you can get past the 1, possibly for the 12 into the bottom. Yeah, that was the play to pass the 1 and the 6, and that has not worked out well for him. He is full ball snookered on the 12. So Sun Yuan is most likely going to be coming back to the table. It's quite far down the table and close to the 6 to jump. Managed to make contact, so legal shot, contacting a cushion after contact as well. So Sun Yuan back to the table now. And we all want to see him get into the swing of things and find his rhythm in this match. A very nice pot on the 1 ball, so he has to stay at the table, has to keep potting, has to keep breaking well. He has managed to bring that pocketing a ball on the break percentage up from 33% to the 70s. But it has to remain there if he wants a chance at closing the gap between himself and Chu Bingjie. Nicely on the 4, and this is a good counter clearance from Sun Yuan to get his 7th point on the board. It's there, he gets it. Score 20 frames to 7. He's managed to get that frame on the board, and he will be breaking in the next frame in this winner's break format.
28局，苏媛开球。
Sun Yuan winning the last frame now, so he is breaking in this winner's break format. Currently 27 down. And I don't think a ball's gone in. No, it hasn't. Have a look at this again. Yeah, the 7 not going into the side and the 15 also. So that dry break from Sun Yuan will bring Chu Bingjie to the table, currently leading 20 frames to 7. And I do see a comment on the YouTube stream saying this is a one-sided final. How did Sun get here? I can tell you exactly how he got here. He's gone through some of the best players in the world to get into this final, fighting through that loser's bracket after losing his first round match to Chen Siming 13-4. He's gone through Alex Pagulayan, Stephen Ellis, Kong Daijing, Tang Shunshao, Zhao Ruliang, Li Yiwei, and recently, yesterday evening, he had to defeat Zheng Yebo to get here to this grand final. So he's gone through some of the best players in the world to get to this final, and he's just not having his day on the breaks. But in a winner break format, things can always change. As you did see Chu Bingjie running 7 racks in a row. Sun Yuan could do the same, and can imagine how that would affect the scoreline if he could do that as well. So he definitely deserves to be in this final, does Sun Yuan. And really, when he's in form and he's breaking well, he is one of the best players that you could wish to see. There's actually a clip of him on the Joy World Heyball Tour page, making one of those excellent clearances against Li Yiwei yesterday morning. You also have to remember, coming through the losers bracket, he's been playing 2 matches every day, starting off with race to 13s, then race to 15s, race to 17s, and in the last few rounds, race to 19. So you can imagine the fight he's had to put up to get into this grand final against Chu Bingjie. Yeah, he stayed down there. He wasn't sure if that was in, but off the jaw and off the dry break of Sun Yuan, Chu Bingjie takes his 21st frame. That's another rack and run for him, his 5th rack and run. Score 21-7. And also, to add to that, you can put anyone against Chu Bingjie in this current form and the scoreline is going to look very similar. I mean, 7 consecutive break and runs. He's currently on 14 break and runs in total, 5 rack and runs. That's 19 clearances of 21 frames. So you put anyone against him in this kind of form with the way he's breaking and the way he's clearing the table. And just look at that break once again, potting 2 balls on the break. Yeah, in this form, he would destroy absolutely anyone, Chu Bingjie. The consistency and the hard work that's gone into making this player really showing on these big stages, and one of the biggest stages in the world. These Joy tournaments. Winner of this match will receive $277,000 US. Second place receiving 111,000, third place 41,000, and so on. If you want to have a look at the full prize money bracket, it is on the Joy World Heyball Tour page. Yes, just the 4-ball now next to the black ball. Does he have the angle to go into it? He does. Okay, he's still okay. He's still okay for the 2. The bridging might be a bit awkward. Having a look at the angle he has on the 2, whether the cue ball is going to be heading behind the black ball. No, it looks good. It's there. Cue ball back to the middle of the table. Excellent pace control. Look at that. A few centimeters more and he would have been behind the 14. And this black ball now for his 22nd point. And it's there. He's on the hill. 22 frames to 7, race to 23. And that's his 15th break and run of the match. Chu Bingjie now to the table in this 30th frame. He leads 22 frames to 7 over Sun Yan. He's breaking for the match now. Race to 23 for the match and for the title and for the championship. And he's made 3 balls on that break. Chu Bingjie currently has 15 break and runs, 5 rack and runs, 20 clearances of 22. He's taking the 10 down and it's there. What an opening pot that is. Yeah, and again, you have to ask yourself, would you take that shot on or would you take the 6 to the center, the easier 6? And that's the mindset these players have, always taking the right shot instead of the easier shot. That's one of the biggest factors that I've seen. Because this is near perfection, so you have to watch this, also trying to learn as much as you can. But of reverse side to get the cue ball up. Oh, and that could have gone wrong. He's not happy. Shake of the head. I don't know if he's on the 9. He's down on it. I'm sure the referee is watching to see whether the 3 moves. It doesn't. And it's there. Nice roll on the 11 off the side cushion as well to come back.
本场比赛结束。
And his opponent has conceded. Before Chu Bingjie even got to the black ball, his opponent concedes. Sun Yan has conceded. So 23-7 in favor of Chu Bingjie. And I honestly thought you weren't allowed to concede during these matches, but he's had enough and he could see that Chu Bingjie was going to make the clearance. Your champion, Chu Bingjie of the Baotou Station Super Tour 2025 Joy Heyball Masters. Score 23-7, and that could have been another break and run, but he ended the match off with 15 break and runs, 5 rack and runs. Unbelievable quality and some of the best we've seen from Chu Bingjie and both the players at the start of this. It was a perfect match, I think up to 10 or 15 frames, no miss, all clearances all the way, and those 7 consecutive break and runs from Chu Bingjie, that really did cement his lead, and yeah, that really made it possible for him to win this match. But excellent play from him, and Sun Yan just not playing his best on the day. So Chu Bingjie walks away with the trophy, the championship, and $277,000. His opponent Sun Yan with $111,000. So do stay tuned. We will be having the prize giving straight after the match, so stay on the live stream to watch that as well. I'm your commentator, Raymond Tilak, for the Joy events, and thank you guys so much for being on the stream and joining us. Until next time.
Chu Bingjie，大家的欢呼声是不断啊！其实今天我们看到您在 LP 球杆乔氏杯超级分站赛包头战的现场夺得了200万的冠军。那么，先来和大家分享一下您此时此刻的感受。
可能这次挺平静吧。这个决赛之前压力还是很大的，因为对手这个冲球确实挺好。然后昨天呢，我也是模仿了一下，视觉层面上确实非常好用。今天主要也就是赢在冲球上了。
的确，今天其实您和孙元2位选手冲球冲的，大家看的是很过瘾啊！不仅是炸青，其实您是来到了16局炸青之多。也是特别的让大家感觉到震撼，而且稳定性是特别棒的。我刚刚有看直播间说您现在不光是新流当中的人杆合一了，是人杆球3位一体。那么有没有什么想对支持您的粉丝和大家分享的？
还是感谢大家一路对我的支持吧。我会尽全力吧，然后去延长自己的职业生涯。希望能多陪大家几年。
好的，朋友们，再次把掌声送给我们的冠军楚秉杰。稍后将会进行颁奖仪式，请各位持续锁定，谢谢。
regrets, no hurry, no rush, no hurry, no rush, no hurry, no rush, no hurry, no rush, no regrets, no hurry, no rush, no hurry, no rush, no hurry, no rush, no hurry. This is our legacy.
Look at me.
No hurry, no rush, no hurry, no rush, no hurry, no rush, no hurry.
好，欢迎大家来到 LP 球杆乔氏杯2025中式8球大师赛超级分站赛包头战的现场。那接下来工作人员呢也会为大家来发放我们的礼物啊！来，既然来到咱们的比赛现场，就希望各位能够满载而归，收获满满。同时呢，我们今天也为大家准备了非常多的礼品，希望各位在一起感受我们台球魅力的同时，一起迎接和留存下咱们美好的回忆，一起在包头感受我们中国征途世界球童的魅力。
No hurry, no rush, no hurry, no rush, no hurry, no rush, no regret.
Look at me.
No rush, no rush, no rush.
颁奖仪式开始之前，我们诚邀我们的冠军、亚军选手，请到我们的后场区进行后场，谢谢。
No rush, no hurry, no rush, no hurry, no rush, no hurry, no rush, no regrets, no hurry, no rush, no hurry, no rush, no hurry, no rush, no hurry, no rush, no regrets, no hurry, no rush, no hurry, no rush, no hurry.
From folk game to Olympic stage, the glory and aspiration of Heyball. How can a grassroots sport become an Olympic discipline? This seemingly fantastical question is being answered by Heyball's pioneers with courage and perseverance. What is Heyball? Blending the essence of snooker and American pool, Heyball thrives on more open rules, intense competition, accessibility, and fun. It has evolved into a sport for all ages and a stage for countless individuals to change their lives. Born in China, it now belongs to the world. In the 1980s, Chinese innovators crafted an imagined American pool table using carom dimensions and snooker structure. Without formal references, this serendipitous creation birthed Heyball. Yet, its humble origins led to labels like Hooligan's Game, leaving it sidelined and neglected. In 2006, Joy Billiards, hearing the cries of 8-ball players, ignited hope with a ranking event offering an 8,000 RMB prize. The spark ignited the hope of the sport. In 2012, Joy utilized the prestige of the king of the crucible, Stephen Hendry, to break into CCTV, elevating Heyball to mainstream acclaim. The roar of applause shattered stereotypes, propelling Heyball to dominance across China. In 2016, Heyball stepped onto the global stage as a cultural ambassador with overseas tournaments spanning 32 countries and regions. In 2019, athletes from 64 nations gathered in Qinhuangdao, China, delivering a world-class spectacle. In 2022, the WCBS officially recognized Heyball as a discipline in the inaugural WCBS Championship. In 2023, the champion prize of the Masters soared past $5 million, making it the highest-paying billiards event globally. Prizes can be counted, dreams are immeasurable. In 2024, we sprint toward the Olympics. 9 global events unite athletes from 100 nations, partnership with the ANOC promotes Heyball across 206 countries and regions, organizing the first Parasport World Championship in Los Angeles and Junior World Championship in India. Heyball's inclusivity embodies the Olympic spirit. In 2025, Joy promote Heyball into the Chengdu World Games, edging closer to the Olympics. A memorandum with the ACBS paves its path to the 2030 Asian Games. 27 years ago, we revolutionized table manufacturing with innovation. 19 years ago, we pioneered Heyball's tournament-driven growth. Today, we are leading the development concept of billiards with the slogan of Heyball's inclusion into the Olympics, always staying at the forefront of the times. Olympism celebrates togetherness. Heyball's uniting the world echoes this spirit. From Chinese streets to global arenas, the Black Eight's journey, never linear, but always ascending. Cross-cultural differences engage in equal dialogue using the language Heyball and unite the world. This Black Eight will roll onto the Olympic stage, into the heart of world billiards. This dream, we will realize together, and we will make it happen.
在这场精彩纷呈、紧张有趣的比赛背后，有一群最值得尊重的人，那就是你们，所有默默付出的赛事工作人员。用责任和担当诠释了幕后英雄的真正含义。
女士们、先生们 ，LP 球杆乔氏杯2025中式八球大师赛超级分站赛包头战颁奖仪式即将开始。在仪式正式开始之前，我们要颁发的是优秀裁判奖项。此刻，让我们以热烈掌声向这些默默付出赛事的守护者们致敬。有请 LP 球杆乔氏杯2025中式八球大师赛超级分站赛包头战优秀裁判何秀红、冯雅琪上台领奖。两位裁判因故不能抵达现场，有请傅依然、李雅帆进行代理。有请内蒙古体育产业发展有限公司副总经理郭慧强为优秀裁判进行颁奖。有请。请合影留念。感谢颁奖嘉宾，谢谢，请您台侧稍事休息，请傅依然女士留步。接下来，有请本次赛事副裁判长傅依然女士宣读青台王相关成绩，有请。好，这也是我们相互之间的一个敬意啊！谢谢您在赛场上，接下来要为大家来宣布今天的金台王，有请。
谢谢。LP 球杆乔氏杯2025中式八球大师赛超级分站赛包头战，历时10天，416场比赛，所有选手共计完成开头青台1278次，其中来自中国的孙源青台65次，获得本站的青台王。 来自中国的楚敏杰连续青台7次，获得本站的连续青台奖。成绩公布完毕，谢谢。
谢谢，感谢傅依然女士，请您台侧稍事休息。接下来有请我们的青台王登场领奖，有请。此刻我们看到孙源以及楚秉杰向我们缓缓走来，他们实力令我们敬佩。接下来有请天津198乔氏台球俱乐部创始人索晨为累计青台王以及连续青台王颁发证书，有请。请合影留念。谢谢，再次掌声祝贺，并且感谢颁奖嘉宾。也愿各位在未来的比赛当中继续保持这份专注与果敢，让青台王的荣耀永远闪耀赛场。中式8球大师赛。谢谢各位，辛苦大家久等了。中式8球的体育健儿们跨越山海之遥、5洲之隔，以一方球桌为没有硝烟却热血沸腾的战场，与来自全球各个国家、各个地区的运动精英们勇赴超级大师赛。每一局惊心动魄的激烈角逐，都淋漓尽致地彰显着更快、更高、更强、更加团结的奥林匹克精神，让全世界都清晰地看到，中式8球绝非仅仅是一项竞技项目，更是促进全球体育文化交流、推动人类团结共进的璀璨明珠。此刻，历史的巨轮滚滚向前，时代的洪流汹涌澎湃。现在，所有的目光汇聚于包头，我们正亲眼看到中式8球在中国征途上如雷霆一般蓬勃发展，更加欣喜地看到它正在以海纳百川、兼容并蓄的博大胸怀，拥抱世界，实现中国征途世界球童这一宏伟的愿景。LP 球杆乔氏杯2025中式8球大师赛超级分站赛包头战颁奖仪式现在开始，让我们以最热烈的掌声，有请颁奖嘉宾、获奖运动员荣耀登场，有请。 出席本次颁奖仪式的领导和嘉宾有内蒙古体育产业发展有限公司副总经理郭慧强先生，欢迎您。天津198乔氏台球俱乐部创始人索晨女士，欢迎您。乔氏台球集团创始人、董事长兼 CEO 乔元许先生，欢迎您。获得 LP 球杆乔氏杯2025中式八球大师赛超级分站赛包头战季军的是来自中国的郑宇博。获得 LP 球杆乔氏杯2025中式八球大师赛超级分站赛包头战亚军的是来自中国的孙源。最后，请全场准备好最热烈的掌声。获得 LP 球杆乔氏杯2025中式八球大师赛超级分站赛冠军得主的是来自中国的楚bingjie。命运对勇士低语，你无法抵御风暴。勇士低声回应：“我就是风暴。”此刻，有请内蒙古体育产业发展有限公司副总经理郭慧强先生为季军郑宇博颁发证书以及奖牌，有请。请合影留念。感谢颁奖嘉宾，有请天津198乔氏台球俱乐部创始人索晨女士为亚军孙源颁发证书以及奖牌。请合影留念。感谢颁奖嘉宾，有请乔氏台球集团创始人、董事长兼 CEO 乔元许先生为冠军楚秉杰颁发证书、奖牌以及价值11800元的Heyball G4球杆。请合影留念。感谢颁奖嘉宾，请乔总移步台侧稍事等候。听那震彻云霄的号角声，正是金号角奖杯在中式八球的热血赛场上发出的胜利咆哮。它是对每一位在赛场上拼搏到底勇士最至高无上的荣誉象征。有请乔元许先生为冠军楚秉杰颁发金号角奖杯。这是象征着中式八球最高的荣耀。请乔元许先生留步，合影留念。同时，请所有颁奖嘉宾及优秀裁判上台合影留念。人生天地间，敢于拼搏、为国争光的精神，激励着我国运动健儿们努力实现新的突破。正是无数个勇于追梦的身影，汇聚起中国体育事业蓬勃发展之力。谢谢，感谢颁奖嘉宾及优秀裁判。接下来，请获奖运动员合影留念。 接下来是冠军的专属时刻。谢谢，感谢我们2位优秀的运动员，请台侧稍事休息。除却君身3重雪，天下谁人配白衣？现在有请礼仪小姐为冠军献上奖金支票板。接下来，请尽情享受属于你的冠军专属时刻。也请大家拿起您的手机、相机，尽情记录下这激动人心的时刻。现场再次把掌声给到楚霸王楚并杰。谢谢，请您台侧稍事休息。当历史的烽烟化作鬓角的晨霜，当胜利的凯歌凝成黄河浪涛的回响，80年前那场改写人类命运的正义之战，在时光的长河当中沉淀为永不褪色的精神图腾。当选手俯身凝神的刹那，我们感受到了80年前伏击战当中狙击手的关注谨慎。当母球划出弧线，我们感受到淞沪会战当中炮弹撕裂的苍鸣。当青台时刻的掌声雷动，我们又感受到了台儿庄城墙上永不冷却的热血温度。人类对正义的追求永未停止。那些在反法西斯战场之上用血肉之躯筑起长城的先辈，与今日在绿茵赛场之上用智慧和勇气征服世界的运动健儿们，共同诠释着中华民族永不停歇的精神，也昭示着以和为贵、以战止战的东方哲学。值此胜利80载春秋更迭之际，伟大的民族既能以雷霆手段击溃来犯之敌，亦能用春风化雨的智慧开创盛世华章。至此 ，LP 球杆乔氏杯2025中式8球大师赛超级分站赛包头战的全部比赛已经圆满落幕。8年烽火起卢沟，一纸降书落至江。全球瞩目的盛会已然蓄势待发。在9月份，让我们共戴君临，点燃和平圣火，只将我们不见不散。再次感谢所有关注本次赛事的朋友们，谢谢大家。如果有想等待合影的朋友们，我们也请大家在我们的内场稍微等待片刻，谢谢。